Luke, are you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Luke.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I follow you guys a lot on YouTube and stuff, but really like you guys' show. It's great. I'm an atheist myself, and I debate with theists and agnostics and all that a lot, trying to just expand knowledge and make sure that my beliefs are tested and all that. I have a topic that I wanted to talk about today and see what your guys' thoughts on it are. All right. So people, humans, are everything is increasingly complex chemical reactions, right? The brain is just basically chemical reactions happening to create a consciousness. And I have trouble when I'm trying to debate with someone or trying to talk with a theist, getting over the fact that it can be just a chemical reaction that's creating a consciousness, and that's how we know what we know, that's how we think. And they always fall back on the thought of a soul and the thought of someone gave us this consciousness, and that's how our shell is, happens. I was wondering how you guys get over the fact that you have to, at some point, agree that your thoughts are just chemical reactions in your brain happening.
How do we get over that fact? You mean how we defend it in an argument, or how we live with it?
I guess how you live with it, and
it's not a problem for me.
I guess how you could see someone else. You know what I mean? Like when somebody else has to get over the fact that, and I guess it's get over the fact. Just live with the fact that they are. There is a margin of error. You could just everything in life could just be electron or neurons firing. That's it. It could be all simulated. It could be the Matrix, quote unquote.
Oh,
correct.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I admit to taking on faith, is that the universe actually exists and is not just a illusion put on for my benefit. I know I can't prove that, but I'm comfortable assuming that that's not the case, because otherwise I'd have no basis for caring about anything if it was all just an illusion.
If you're kind of addressing going from the position of believing that you have some kind of soul to the position of accepting that you don't, how do you deal with that? To me, it's kind of like if you lived your whole life and somebody told you that you had an invisible third arm, and then you realize that you don't have an invisible third arm. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's like being disappointed that you didn't win the lottery.
Right.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I understand what you guys are saying. I was just wondering what you guys' thought on the whole. Like, how can you trust what you're thinking if you are a slave to chemical reactions in your brain?
Let's suppose that our consciousness was some kind of supernatural, spooky thing that it takes over our bodies and makes us dance around. I mean, how is that any better? How come some invisible spooky thing is so much more trustworthy than chemical reactions?
I understand. I understand that a theist would say it's because your soul is manipulated by this benevolent, awesome being, which obviously I don't believe that it's benevolent.
A benevolent, awesome being could do all. I mean, but a benevolent thing could do all kinds of stuff to you for your own good, right? And it could still be a pack of lies.
Right.
Religion is all about lying to people for their own good.
Right.
I mean, you could be in much the same way that you could be a brain in a vat or an individual in a matrix. You could be a soul in a soul testing environment by some. You haven't avoided the problem at all.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that is just sidestepping a little bit. Thanks, guys, for your time. I didn't want to run up too much, but yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Luke. I will do my normal or my new normal quick take on why the soul, as it's generally portrayed, is an utterly untenable hypothesis. And it's because everything that we know about who we are is limited and identifiable in the brain. And the research that we've been doing, if you look up V.S. Ramachandran, for example, there's the good example of the split brain patients. where they develop two entirely different personalities, one being an atheist, one being a Christian. They have different likes. They communicate differently. So when that happens, when we split that brain, did we split a soul in half? Did we create a new soul? And you know, the math of that soul doesn't work out. Also, brains have been reset by trauma to where they have an utterly different personality. If somebody was saved and then they suffer some dramatic trauma, are they now unsaved? Or, you know, it's absurd. When everything we know about who we are dies when we die. Nobody's ever demonstrated anything that would even lead one to suspect that there's, you know, a part of us that continues. And by the way, if it's just a part of us, it's not us. My brain is the producer of my, you know, who I am, my personality, my likes, my preferences, etc. You know, how much of me could possibly survive if we know that this, you know, physical process is actually creating that?
Well, I'm a transhumanist, so I kind of disagree with you. I think that if you can duplicate the process that is going on inside my brain perfectly, then you've exactly duplicated me.
And I would agree that
that's
you've
a whole
exactly
separate,
duplicated me.
that's a whole separate
but it's
discussion.
not me.
Yeah, I think it is.
Anyway.
Depends on what you want to identify with.
Yeah. Anyway, we're way off topic there, Luke.
That's cool. No, that's basically what I was wanting to talk about anyway.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Sure. Thanks for the call.